Heaven knows, but here we are again. Diamonds and pearls. Much love to Terry Funk. Much love to Bray Wyatt. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Dr. Funk live podcast. Thank you guys so much for subscribing via YouTube, Facebook Live, and also donations, Apple Music, Spotify, and other places. Today, we're going to be talking all about diamonds and pearls. So glad you guys can join me. Hope you guys like the announcement. I know it's been a while. I'm always about consistency, but when we don't have anything to talk about, I'm not going to give you a show about nothing. That's for Seinfeld. Obviously, as you guys know, what's up Canada? What's up Australia? Next day over there and stuff. So hope you guys are doing well. As you guys know, we first talked about this about 3 years ago, started really hinting about it 2 years ago to give you guys a fact. But here it is. It's good to be seen. Thank you. So I'm going to start only the fault tracks. It's not going to happen with those things. Houston, what up? But yeah, let's get into it while I have you guys fill up the room and talk amongst yourselves to talk about the announcement and probably photos that you will see and other things that we will be all about when it comes to the Diamonds and Pearls era. You know, Prince's proven ability to bounce back is a sign of his deep talent and enduring appeal. So interesting when we talk about Diamonds and Pearls and so many different things. When it comes to the original, when it comes to the set, and you guys have been waiting for a while. Like we talked about, you know, this was being discussed and being worked on about 3 years ago. So we'll get into that. And just, you know, it's finally that the 90s era is getting its first Super Deluxe. Hopefully one of many. I want the entire catalog to get the same love as an attention. That's a broken record for some things. And we'll talk about what you guys are wanting, what you guys were expecting, and other things. I also want you guys to talk amongst yourself because I know it's been a while, and that's the thing when we first were doing this show over a decade ago was the interacting with everyone and with myself, and Prince truly loved that. So, you know, someone needs to get their eyes checked though. So we're just gonna get into it. I know you guys have been waiting for this for a while. And then hopefully when you guys saw me posting a little bit about it earlier this week, and I said happy Halloween, and some people are like, does he have his dates wrong? Like, what is he talking about? And you guys understand that, you know, that was the original release date. Unfortunately, it's coming out at the same time as something else, and we'll talk about that. I wish the estate, God, this sucks. Wish the essays on the book were more people involved in the making of the album, like Michael Koppelman or the MPG. I agree. We'll get into those things as well. Just even have short statements from them and have everyone else have their own thing. You would have loved to have the hologram included. I do have like a larger hologram, but I know you guys are talking about this. You know, I have the larger one and the poster one, but that was already in my poster area. And who knows if they'll have something included or be an even more special edition. This release is the day after my birthday. Happy birthday. Although I was told earlier this week, we don't celebrate birthdays, dude. But anyway, shall we get into it about this announcement? Now, as you know, like the original inclination of this was supposed to be a Diamonds and Pearls love symbol inclination. Let me just say allegedly and hypothetically, because those are the words I used before to not get me into trouble. supposed to be this huge set put together, and that's not how it should be. None of his sets should be combined. It should be standalone. So I kind of let that out. I got stuff from it from the powers that be. And again, as you guys know, I've been outspoken about certain things that have kind of got me into trouble. But if I'm looking out for you guys, I'm looking out for Prince. I have to do what's right and not sell myself short. And the Diamonds and Pearls era, especially with it being his second bestseller of all time behind Purple Rain, that I feel that it deserved its own set. And then when you're talking about Diamonds and Pearls and Love Symbol, from that era alone, you had 3 different tours from the Diamonds and Pearls tour to, and of course, the tour book is sitting elsewhere. From the Diamonds and Pearls tour to Act 1 to Act 2, there's a lot of changes going on at that time. So, thank you. I try to look good. As I said, at this celebration, I did everything I do to look more presentable when I'm representing him and representing you guys. But so yeah, that was going to be the big thing, was combining these box sets that did come under the previous administration. The administration was separating the sets, and we'll get into that when it comes to track list and stuff. But as you've seen, they have some cool new apparel out to coincide with the release. A lot of stuff for women. I'm hearing more of the men complaining, but isn't it usually the other way around? So I had to start that video at the beginning because it didn't come on time for me. It's okay. You're here. That's what matters. Let's just get into some stuff with the official announcement, and we'll go through things. But today was the announcement of the Prince Estate relaunching a deluxe reissue campaign with the massive 7 CD Diamonds and Pearls set. I guess you say relaunching because the last time we had a set like this was 2020, and the last real official material that we had, new material, was Welcome to America. You did have Prince of Revolution Syracuse, which had its Dolby Atmos mix and other stuff. We had Bernie Grumman did a master of that during COVID. Then you had Chris James do the set that you guys should have in your collection that should be going next to your Diamonds and Pearls set. So, this deluxe sets will be beautifully done from now on, thanks to Sign Times SD being well put together. They know they can't slack on us now. There you go. Revolution 86. Someone wants their parade set, I can tell, without even having to say stuff. But yeah, you had the 3-year delay, Diamonds and Pearls. And look, Cream was his last number 1. Very hard to believe, but it was. But sometimes back then, Prince wasn't playing the system too well, as we all know. And then on October 27th, Paisley Park Enterprises, in partnership with Sony Music Entertainment and Warner Records. It's the first one that they're all kind of coming together, by the way. Yeah, the other deluxe sets were released solely with Warner Brothers. Welcome to America was solely with Sony. And the reissues was through Sony as well, where they're not allowed to remaster or add tracks onto it. And, yep, Diamonds and Pearls is his second bestseller after Purple Rain. If you can believe that, then more than Parade, more than Around the World in a Day, more than Sign of the Times. So you're getting a giant 7 CD, 12 LP set, also available in 2 CD and 1 CD versions, plus milky white vinyl and pearl vinyl. You guys are all getting all of those. Your bank account just got a $1,000 charge today, didn't it? You get 47 unreleased tracks in total, including the live stuff. And, that's a lot. It'll be like 33 unreleased tracks. Although some of you people probably already had stuff that you weren't supposed to have. And yeah, the new collection representing a third deep dive into Prince's vault, including a total of 75 audio tracks across the 7 CDs and 12 vinyls, which is on 12 vinyl. 100 180 gram. The set offers a newly remastered version of the album plus 15 remixes and B-sides from that era, including the never commercially released Get Off. Damn near 10 minutes. Never commercially released, but now you guys can have a copy too. Maybe not this one that's going like for $1,000 on the resale market, but at least you will have that in your collection now. The Super Deluxe Edition also features, as we talked about, 33 previously unreleased studio tracks from Prince's vault, ranging from alternate versions of album tracks to numbers Prince gave away to other artists and songs recorded while on the road in 1990. We're going to talk about that. Set also includes the full concert recorded at Prince's Minneapolis club Glam Slam on January 11th, 1992. They showed that at last year's celebration. Amazing footage. A lot of those songs, the way the instrumentation was done has not been repeated. So it's going to be really amazing to have that and watch it at my house, not just at Prince's house at Paisley Park. You get the previously unreleased live concert we're just talking about performance has been mixed from the 24-track master and rounds out the audio content of the 7 CD and 12 LP sets. I believe, although it's not mentioned anywhere, because we did get a vinyl of that show last year, 7-inch, and that was mixed by Chris James. So I believe that he did that as well, which I talked about earlier. He did Syracuse and the Atmos stuff, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. So it's in really good hands. The same previously unreleased concert is also presented in 2K video on the Blu-ray disc that accompanies both Super Deluxe Edition formats. By the way, there is a set being sold overseas that just has the Atmos mix of Diamonds and Pearls and the stereo mix, which I believe would be Chris James as well for Atmos. And then for stereo, you're probably looking at Bernie Grumman. The only way to get that is through the SDE site. We'll put up a link for that. Of course, if someone is aware of it already, you can drop it in the comments and I'll highlight it. Always appreciate that so we can cover more for you guys. So, yes. Thank you, Cassandra, for pointing that out. That show that we just talked about was Maite's first show performing with the band. So for your Maite fans, you have that to look forward to as well. As a companion collector piece, fans had the opportunity to order the number 7-inch singles box set. Should say had the opportunity. Just like that's why I put out on social media, like get this stuff. It's limited to 1991 copies. It's going to go quick. Of course, this time they put it to where you only get one copy, unlike with the Sign Times box set where people were maybe buying 4 or 5 at a time. Ridiculous. And then the 120-page book, you get unseen photos and rare photos by Randy St. Nicholas. You're going to get essays by author and broadcaster Andrea Swenson, archivist and senior researcher for the Prince estate Dwayne Tudall, British music critic and Prince expert Jason Draper, D'Angela L. Duff, an industry professor at NYU Tannen School of Engineering in Brooklyn, social media personality Kanisa Williams, and an introduction from Public Enemy founder Chuck D. But the box set, that was strictly limited to 1991 units. I don't know if they're going to reprint it. It's containing remastered audio from 6 official singles released in 1991 and 1992. Set contains a brand new 7-inch single, comprising 2 previously unreleased tracks, Alice Through the Looking Glass, which is on social media platforms and YouTube, shared that earlier, and Horny Pony version 2, which isn't being shared, but you get Insatiable long version. So I know you guys are about that. Can we get into the track list before we get into this stuff? The book comes with the LP and CD versions, the box set versions. And the booklet will be the same size, 120-page book, whether you get CD or vinyl. I'll have that, but you only get that with the box set. So as much as I would love to talk between each track, I'm going to just go through stuff of the track list of Diamonds and Pearls Remastered. CD1, you're getting basically the entire regular album of Thunder, Daddy Pop, Diamonds and Pearls, Cream, Strolling, Willie and Abel, Get Off, Walk Don't Walk, Jughead, Money Don't Matter Tonight, Push, Insatiable, Live for Love. And that is remastered. That's not the Dolby Atmos mix. They'll just be remastered. Then LPs 3 and 4, the single mixes and edits, Get Off, damn near 10 minutes, Get Off, House Style, Violet the Organ Grinder, Gangster Glam, Horny Pony, which I'm glad that wasn't skipped because that's just hard, and that needed a master too, unless you have the single vinyl that it would have that stuff on, unlike the CD single of Cream and Import that you'd have it on. Then you have Cream, MPG Mix, Things Have Got to Change, Tony M Rap, Do Your Dance, KC's Mix, Insatiable, Edit, Diamonds and Pearls, Edit, Money Don't Matter Tonight, Edit, Call the Law, Willie and Abel, Edit, Willie and Abel video version, Thunder, DJ Fade. Some people are like, oh man, there's going to be a DJ Fade mix. I wonder who that is. Okay. Let you guys think all that. LPs 3 through 5 and CDs, LPs 5 through 9, CDs 3 through 5. Vault tracks. You're getting Schoolyard. Don't know if it's going to be the longer version that hasn't circulated. I haven't seen the timing of that. If you guys have seen the timing of Schoolyard, let me know, because there is a different version that's not circulating that has some Eric Leeds in it. You got My Tender Heart, Rosie Gaines outtake. Well, report for that, then give it to Rosie. Pain, Streetwalker, Lorianne, Dark Side, Insatiable early mix full version, which again is now available for you guys to listen to who may not have had it before. Glam Slam 91, for the people that don't know about that, that was the original early version of what would end up becoming Get Off. Live for Love early version, Cream Take 2. Skip to My You, My Darling, Diamonds and Pearls long version. And all tracks previously unreleased, Daddy Pop 12-inch version, although that was played late night in LA radio after 2 o'clock in the morning on Kiss FM out here because of Keith Casey Cohen. You got Martika's Kitchen, you got Spirit, you got Open Book. It's amazing to finally have that in clear quality. Work That Fat. Horny Pony version 2. Something Funky, This House Comes, band version. Hold Me, Blood on the Sheets, The Last Dance, Bang, Pow, Zoom, and the whole 9. Don't Say You Love Me. And that has some Morris Hayes production into it that I believe Casey was mentioning before. All tracks previously unreleased, Vault 3. You get Blue, Tip of My Tongue. Those would go to Mr. Eldebarge at first. Then you got The Voice, which was given to Mavis. You got Trouble, Alice Through the Looking Glass, which you guys again have. Standing at the Altar. That's going to be amazing, you guys. Hey You, Letter for Miles. I have a problem with that. We're going to talk about that later. I Pledge Allegiance to Your Love, The Thunder Ballet. All songs previously unreleased. The Diamonds and Pearls show, which we were talking about live at Glam Slam, January 1992. Getting Thunder, Daddy Pop, Diamonds and Pearls, Willie and Abel, Jughead, The Sacrifice of Victor, Nothing Compares to You, Thieves in the Temple, Sexy MF, Insatiable. Now keep in mind, at that time, Sexy MF, we didn't know about that till June of 92. So that was 6 months ahead of time. Insatiable, Cream, Well Done, I Want You, in the Socket. That medley is just insane, by the way. 1999, Baby I'm a Star, Push, Get Off, House Style. And then The Sacrifice of Victor, I can't say enough about that performance either. Then you're getting the Blu-ray of that exact concert I mentioned. You're getting the Special Olympics Metrodome sound check with Let's Go Crazy, Baby I'm a Star, and Push. Then you're getting the Diamonds and Pearls, the video collection, which you guys know about that stuff. Blu-ray will be presented in stereo 5.1, Dolby True HD, Special Olympics show and Glam Slam only, and Dolby Atmos for Special Olympics and Glam Slam only. The video content is only going to be studio. So let me interact with you guys a little bit more before I start going on about links and reading other stuff. Let me go back and see what you guys have done. Oh, thank you. As you guys see for Olga on Facebook, there's a link to the SDE shop, which is the Dolby Atmos mix of Diamonds and Pearls, and then the remaster. That version you can only get there through stuff. You may have it on different Amazon sites, but it is an overseas site. I'd recommend getting it from them directly, because the way that they package stuff, and you might get it earlier than, say, not the October 27th release date, but earlier than you would get it from other retail sites overseas. So you guys have that link to click on. That's on Facebook, the Facebook Live. We're putting it up there for people on YouTube as well. So it's nearly $1,000 here in Australia. Hopefully you guys have record shops over there that you can support, and hopefully the issues that you guys have had with stuff being carried over there can be resolved. I would love just knowing that I know people in Australia that run record stops, I would love to kind of like, in the future, maybe be able to handle stuff with them directly to help things out, to make sure the Australia fans get into it. I mean, Australia, especially when it comes to Diamonds and Pearls, this holds a special place in your guys' hearts because this was his first tour there. So, and you guys were like, the Diamonds and Pearls tour was like the Terminator 2 of action films. What it was to that is what Prince's concert was to live performances. So there's Pamela again. And just, if you guys missed the link, this one's a little bit more direct on it. Appreciate that. Just want to make sure that you guys have these options. You're not hearing about it like, hey, I didn't know about this. Try to make sure you guys are aware of it, especially for ones who may have missed out on the 7-inch box set already. So parade, any information. Wasn't I ribbing Revolution 86 about that? Let me go back to comments. I thought it'd be parade that would have come out, but nonetheless, I'm happy. You may get that closer to 2026. Hopefully I'm not talking about stuff that I shouldn't be talking about that people come for. You want the whole set. I love these super deluxe sets, including liner notes and all the different experts. And you're just having different things for it. There's a book only, like we said, LP version will be with CD. And Prince was in rare form in the early 90s. It was an incredible time, both at Paisley Park and Glam Slam Minneapolis. The set is a testament to his genius. I'm hoping in the set that there are, let's put it over here. Hoping it said that there are many of the live versions that he used to play that got polished later for release. I also hope they remain mostly unpolished. That 1992 Glam Slam show, as much as I wish someone would have talked to Prince, people like, why is this what you wish for out of all the things? I wish someone in like 1981 talked with Prince. Yo, man, we know that you're trying to do 3 videos a day. We know that you're trying to do these different things, but you really need to use film, because later in life that can be used for other things of HD, for Blu-ray. So you're not having this small screen thing that happens. But that show is absolutely amazing, even in that quality, but the sound is just gonna be on point. That maybe if you close your eyes enough, you'll think that you're back at Glam Slam in 1992 and getting transported. So haven't heard Schoolyard in years. See, and like some people are worried about the lyrical content. Like, bro, like he's a teenager. I can't. When I was 18, like when I was 17, these girls that were 15 or whatnot weren't giving me any attention. As soon as you hit 18 and they're 16, they're giving you attention. It's weird. So whether it's Carrie or someone else, it's not like we're talking about a 57-year-old man and a 16-year-old. Like, I think just some people need to trip out and stop worrying about certain things being canceled. Maybe a Netflix doc we need to worry about or whatnot, but we'll talk about that later on and how that affects what you're getting and why you're not getting unreleased videos like Walk Don't Walk and Daddy Pop and other things, because it's not like Sony and Warner's cannot release visuals in video. They can, but they need to have Netflix's approval. So something that's pro shot like that, of Walk Don't Walk, of Daddy Pop, they're going to want to keep for the first time, even if it's 30 seconds on the docuseries. They want to have that. When it comes to something like this, they can make a little bit of, just compromise. And that's kind of like what they did with Sign of the Times, that you got that Miles Davis show. But again, more than half of that show was released through bootlegs for over 30 years. But you're just getting that other set, not an unreleased show that may have been in the vault. So, oh, thanks. Got to bring it out. The shirt. I had so many Diamonds and Pearls shirts to like choose from, but it's like I had to go with the album cover artwork. So, love Open Book. We're finally getting that. Some things that I don't understand that weren't included were Player. I wonder whether it's the original demo version or a later reworked version. That's stuff that we wanted. And then I got to have the people on the show to figure out their mindset, because Letter for Miles, that was originally called Miles Is Not Dead. Miles passed away September 28th, 1991. Miles Is Not Dead, which would later become Letter for Miles, was recorded on September 30th, 1991. The Diamonds and Pearls set was already delivered to Warner's for mastering and for other stuff June, July, because that's how much in advance you had to do that stuff. So even though, and Diamonds and Pearls came out October 1st, Letter for Miles, which later was reworked several different times, and one of the final versions was with Mike Nelson and the Hornheads in May of 1992. It was on one of the early configurations of the Love Symbol album. So I kind of I put that to the Love Symbol era, and then Martiga's Kitchen and other stuff. I just, like I said, I wonder, Player, the Willing and Able version as well. Kind of surprised by that, but I gotta have their mindset. I'm just, I think we all wanted clean copies of I Wonder, and you could have put 2 versions of I Wonder on there, and I think you guys would have been more than okay with it. So, but we are getting open book, not trying to be all about stuff. I just have questions. That's all it comes from. Work That Fat is hilarious. Treat a lady wrong, and she'll do the same. I mean, I would have rather have liked that to have been maybe a special release separate from this set, so we could have gotten some of the songs I just mentioned. But it's a total piece of ridiculousness, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because of certain stuff I shouldn't have had before. It's like when I hear Work That Fat, I'm waiting for how many ways can work the P, and hearing the Tevin Campbell intro. So I understand where you're coming from Bryce on stuff. And again, you did have this being worked on for the past 3 years with the old estate being involved. I didn't see Michael Howe's name in the credits. Did see Dwayne Tudall, who was his assistant, Michael Howe's assistant. Now he is the archivist. So then, yeah. P is Dancing on the Glamstone Bar is fire. I talked to people, one late last night, and then another person early this morning that were at that show, and just talking about how amazing it is. I wonder if they even remember him dancing on the bar, but that's it. It's like, damn, man, how many shows from Glam Slam in LA, from Miami, and other stuff are we hopefully going to be able to see in the future that can be standalone releases and whatnot? What's going on, everyone? Someone from Australia wants to buy my flight. I'll hand carry copies to you for less. I mean, I'm going to have to put that comment up because that's just classic. It's just funny because some of these releases over the past few years, they were pressed overseas and then sent here to Music Today, and then sent to people that ordered it overseas, where you could have avoided all that shipping and whatnot and got it to them quicker. Just saying. What's up with the radio edits? It's like a waste. That's how I felt about 1999 Super Deluxe, Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. This is when you can see the old regime kind of had a plan stuff. And again, separating the box sets was the right choice. And I don't know if they looked at stuff afterwards. That's why I don't understand why Letter from Miles is included on this one. That should have been Love Symbol. That's what I'm saying now. Hopefully I'll have people on. We have a special guest for next week, and I'll tell you towards the end. But hopefully we can have some of these people on to explain this stuff without getting in trouble for NDAs. And by the way, some people are asking, how come I don't speak about certain things? Number one, I don't like drama. It's not that I signed an NDA myself. When Prince was here, I didn't sign an NDA or other things and just other stuff. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but just wanted to say that because I saw that on social media and other places this week. But yes, I agree with you about radio edits. It's kind of frustrating, but that's something that carried over from the previous sets. So that stuff is doing, yeah. I think more, Eric, that the 70, some people are saying it sold out within 3 hours. I feel if they didn't put the one per person or one per order, it would have been quicker. And that's why Sign of Time sold out so quick. So yeah, in Australia, like we're gonna make sure that you guys get love because you guys are in the future, and I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, I'm curious of the version of Schoolyard's one with horns extended without horns. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, Eric, for sure about that one. Yes, we have nice coffee over here too. Come and hug. One day I'd like to be in Australia, man. That LA flight though, and that's what it is, what, 13 hours? I'm used to like Minnesota flights. We'll see one day. I love you, Australia people. Y'all know that. So people tripping on Schoolyard are the same people that accuse P of promoting, well, when we say that, just from Extra Lovable. And I understand where you're coming from. And I talked to them about those lyrics before. Here it is. I was at Glam Slam, Minneapolis for that show. Can't believe it's being included. Winter trip up in 55-mile-per-hour speed limits back then took forever. You actually followed the speed limits back then? No one follows that anymore, at least here in LA. Anyway, mostly not kidding. Yeah, I know it's been a while that I haven't been on. I appreciate you guys and the support. Like my whole thing is I could do shows every week. It's just that it gets messy. And the things I'm trying to accomplish and what I want to do, I can't let things get messy. And it's more for you guys. I'm not abandoning you guys. I'm not abandoning Prince. You have to be smart. You also have to work smarter, not harder. I would love to do shows every week for you guys. I know that we can have it be packed with stuff. But at the same time, things get messy, and that's not what I'm trying to be about. You know, I'm not having you guys see like, see, I told you so. That's why I said Halloween or stuff like that, for example. It's just about, I understand you guys are frustrated. I saw some people kind of snipping at me on social media this week, and I understand. They're like, oh, why are you being so cryptic? And I'd be like, well, I've always been that way, and Prince liked it. The other stuff that you're getting, it's because you're getting teased and not getting told stuff. You just say that's coming. I understand. But just understand where I'm coming from. I'm not being a part of that. I'm trying to do stuff in the spirit that Prince would like, just like with Easter eggs, where you have like these Taylor Swift fans are like, oh my God, there's these clues. I'm like, bro, Prince was doing that from the videos of Don't Buy the Black Album, I'm Sorry with Love Sexy, then some of the backwards messaging that you got, and then setting stuff up for later releases, like when he supposedly retired in 1985, where it's like, I'm going to retire from live performing. Like, why? I'm going to look for the ladder. Why? Because sometimes it snows in April. Those were what's called Easter eggs now of what her fans, the Swifties, are about, but he was doing decades before. And we'll talk about the October 27th release date and why I have an issue with that a little bit. I wish it was closer to October 1st, and there's a reason for that. Who doesn't love a good compromise looking good, you know? So thank you. Rock to the FLOW. And of course, I wish the other version of that was on there, which would be there. Yeah, I wonder if Player was being considered more than 2 years ago. For sure, those are on it. That's why I don't understand why it's not included. Regardless of audio issues or not, you got to do your best. It's just like with Money You Don't Matter Tonight. If you're listening to Money Don't Matter Tonight on a good system, the microphone is a little bit lower than everything else because maybe, Money didn't matter tonight. That's someone else's joke. Can't give him credit for it right now. But it's like those things you're going to have over modulation if you're mixing with stuff, especially when you had the condensed mastering that you had back in 1991. So there's going to be sound issues that you're not going to be able to fix. But for prosperity's sake, and this being the ultimate set, these super deluxes are thought of so high in the Prince community that you want things to be on there and not excuses, whether it's Extra Lovable or Lust You Always, or now what we're having with Player and I Wonder for different reasons. So, oh, thank God, no Michael Howe. I'd have you elaborate, but we'll see about that. If a group of Aussies pool their money together for my flight, I can do packaging. Man, you really want to go to Australia. I'll let you handle that. James, I appreciate this comment. Just like what I said at the celebration, I'll get into that another point. Like, you know, I feel that we're all the kids in the 7 video. And we were given lyrics to a song that we don't know. And our band leader, our lead singer, is no longer here. And now we're struggling to get through this stuff. And as I said, I'm not going anywhere. As much as I was told by previous people, like, you got to find a new path, you need to go elsewhere. And now they'll say they didn't say that. I'm like, I got the emails. I ain't going nowhere. And that's just it. Whether I'm official or an officially unofficial, I'm going to handle myself a certain way. Unfortunately, me being critical of other people has worked against me over the years. For people that can't take criticism, that can't do other things. So understand where I'm coming from and stuff, that sometimes my silence speaks volumes, because my path isn't over. I'm not finding a new path. This is my path because he chose this for me. So thank you very much, James, and for other people for their comments. New Zealand represented here too, similar to Australia, but more sophisticated. Uh-oh. Are those fighting words? We're going to have to get you in the octagon like Elon and Zuck. So what's going on, people? In Wisconsin, it was $5 per mile an hour have to be paid. Oh, okay. So they were definitely on it more so than New Zealand is live, like the poor cousin of Australia. Yeah, you guys are going to have to get in the octagon for that. Love my timing. I try. Was that a middle finger? Oh, no. That's it, man. Someone needs to have their vision rechecked. Surprised they didn't include the track People Without, seeing as recorded Dance Pros era. No, like, unless you're talking about a different studio version, because of course we all know a small club second show that night, that's where People Without debuted in 1988. Just like early versions of Pink Cashmere were played before his Palladium show after the Love Sexy tour at the LA Sports Arena in November. And then you also kind of had that being played when people went into the Reseda Country Club for a show there. And there was 2 different Reseda Country Club shows. There's one that's not publicized, and there's one that took place after the MTV Video Music Awards in September of '87. Reseda Country Club, RIP to that. Day after 68th birthday. Good Lord. Congratulations. Off topic. Will you be at Princess in September? Come on, man. You know I'll be there. You know I'll be there, so you'll be there as well. So I'm glad that you'll be there. Come on, and it's at the old Glam Slam Club. Maybe we need to get Princess on. There's other people I'm trying to get on, and like I said, next week we already have a special guest being booked. I don't have a flyer for that because I got to come up the funds. Players an all-time favorite. Be very happy with what we have to listen to, for sure. And here's I was in Melbourne, Australia for Record Store Day, April 2019. Got the first copies of Versace cassette and His Majesty's Pop Life. Really cool timing. I don't think I'll be able to be in Minnesota October 27th for this, but we'll see, because there could be some stuff going on in LA. And I'm going to get crap for that. Oh, you're teasing things. Just because I'd like to be at Paisley Park, but I haven't figured out how to be 2 places at once yet is all. Good analogy regarding our band. Leader's gone and we're still, like, I came up with it like that morning. You know, I did have like a notebook prepared of notes, just because, again, the way that I dress, the way that I handle myself, it's like, and look, you guys know, like, I was heavy J for a while. I was like Luther Vandross, to where 6 months you see me skinny, 6 months I'm heavy. But I swore to people that worked at Paisley and other stuff, you give me a little bit of time, I'm going to get in shape and I do this stuff. And it's like, I'm trying to make Prince proud, trying to be representative of you guys. As you get at the celebration, that for the panels, I wore a suit tux and other stuff. Like, people get mad at me, like, when I talk about wearing suits or whatnot. I'm like, look, you know, I did wear jeans at Paisley during the Third Eye Girl era and other stuff, so I was able to get away with that. But for the most part, like I said, I'm trying to represent Prince, and I'm trying to do stuff for you guys. And I know sometimes, like, there's some people that don't like me. They'll be like, I'm arrogant or whatnot. I got that on Twitter this week. Like, I can't spend all my time trying to have people like me when there's goals that need to be done for his legacy and other stuff. The truth is always going to come out. And sometimes people are misconstrued because I'm not the most friendliest person. Like, I'm an introvert that has to pretend to be extroverted. You know, you do these things, you prepare. It gets to be a lot sometimes. And I know that sometimes rubs people the wrong way, and I apologize. I'm just trying to do the best that I can for him and for you guys. And it isn't about myself. I will say this: in the past few years, I've had to say me more because of people constantly trying to downplay me, which hurts you guys, that they're trying to find ways in instead of trying to do stuff for the right reason. And that breaks my heart and hurts me. And that's why I say at the celebration, other stuff, that you guys are allowed to be upset. Like, we want new music releases, we want new videos, we want new concerts, we want new merch every week, not once every 3 years. And I just say it, you guys are allowed to be frustrated, vent it, but that's why I can't do shows every week, because I don't want it to get messy and then it compromises what we're trying to do for Prince and what we're trying to do for the community. So, but yeah, as you know, that's it. You got to stay true to you, and you guys got to all stay true to yourself. You're allowed to be frustrated. Try to come at people correctly. I don't understand this thing in life that's just kind of happened where constructive criticism is looked at as such a bad thing. The reason that these shows got better is that you guys would say, like, oh, Doc isn't doing this, or Doc isn't doing that. Just like with the website, I get stuff for my writing, and then some people are like, either he's having someone else write or became a better writer. When you're talking about things that you don't care about or whatnot, and you have to have a few paragraphs, it's going to be that way. But stuff that you're passionate about, it shows more. And of course, when it comes to the print stuff, I'm passionate. You guys are all passionate. So, Brandon, good luck to your Packers. They probably do better than my Cowboys. We love each other, really. You know, just bands. What's going on, Nikki? So great that more fans and scholars like D'Angelo and Nice here, including book. Yes, like, you know, I kind of wanted D'Angelo, Kenise on stage with us at Paisley. I don't think she's going to have it. But I'm glad that they are being involved. I also like, you know, like, look, people talked about Michael Koppelman and members of the MPG. Like, there's so many different things that we want and can do. And hopefully at least there's maybe small segments of the MPG that are just sprinkled throughout the book. We'll see. So, glorious all around, except for Bray Wyatt passing away today at the age of 36, which is just very surprising for wrestling entertainment. And just his dad was the henchman of the $1 Million Man back in the 80s. He played IRS. So it's just so sudden and surprising loss. We lost Terry Funk yesterday, but Terry Funk was 79, not 36 years old with a newborn baby, and just so weird. I always appreciate you guys stopping by. I know you guys can't fully watch all the show and all its take. Like, we're just going to the point. I haven't even covered everything I want to go to. I want to make sure you guys are being heard. I was at the one after the MTV Awards. What a concert that was. And you got like some crazy songs at that Reseda Country Club show. Or if it's the Palladium as well. Got Princess Home, Please. They're awesome. For sure. We've talked about with my own before, and Gretchen. I was at the show in Reseda after Love Sex. We showed at the sports arena. Let me just say how tough that was. Being a barely, I don't even think I may have been a teenager yet. That Reseda Country Club was so close to where my grandmother lived. It's like a 5-minute ride. And when you're that young, probably it seems like it's a 10-minute run. For it to be there, and then every time I passed it until Reseda Country Club closed, like, damn it, man, he was here. That was before later in life when I had very lucky to have such amazing experiences and other stuff. I'm happy I'm doing this for you guys and appreciate it as well. And we will be doing a show next week on Thursday, and I'll be telling you who the guest is momentarily. We're not going to be doing a show every week, but we will be having guests. And again, like I said, I will be doing shows when we have guests because I don't want it to get messy. I'm forever one of those girls from the 7 video. See? And it's just, Sally, the Prince community has always been competitive. It's just, and I see it like with the Taylor people, like when I was given like exclusive photos for my site back in 2011, they just had the fans grabbing it. And that kind of like what happens with Prince. What's interesting is, say George Michael, who had a relationship with his people, and then Adam Lambert, their fans were just so happy I was giving attention. They would just be like, oh, it's from Funkenberry, it's from this, it's from that. Yes, I know Funkenberry is a lame name, but I'm stuck with it for now until my next path to where I can maybe just go by Jeremiah Freed, but it's what you guys all know me as. But yeah, it's too competitive and people are trying to do stuff for themselves. And again, it's counterintuitive and counterproductive to be able to get stuff done. And, you know, hope to be involved. I want to have a team together of different people. But it always just seems like it's one person wanting to undercut everyone else, and then the crap talking that goes on behind the scenes. And it's just, yeah. Surprise was a hologram cover. It was very expensive in 1991, let alone now. But hopefully, like, they'll make a reproduction of stuff this CD size that I was given as a gift. I appreciated it. And appreciate it. Like, they have little diamonds and pearls thing at the bottom, like they went all out for it. That's a really cool gift. I always appreciate stuff like that. And of course, Prince stuff I may not have, I always appreciate that too. Everyone thinks I got everything. That's not the case. But you know, there's also a larger diamonds and pearls sticker. There's also one that was poster. Hopefully they can sell some of that stuff online for you guys so you can have it. We're on the same team, left for another. That's what people got to know. The fact that we aren't getting younger, now is the time. Look, there's so many other things. Prince is a once in a generation talent. We can handle a box set more than once a year, every 3 years. We can also handle other projects throughout the time. You have Taylor Swift dropping multiple albums. You got Drake doing stuff on streaming. I want to see Prince's streaming numbers get higher than the physical sales, because that means that it's older people buying it. No disrespect, the physical more than getting streamed. Maybe do what they do, and you'll have, like, on your Spotify or other stuff, you have Diamonds and Pearls playing, and while you're sleeping, just put the volume all the way down so it's counting the streams. But I feel that we can handle more. We need someone in there that can go through 90s stuff when there's supposed to be a 5-song EP that's supposed to be released on June 7th, 1992, that we get that out. We get earlier stuff done. That'd be different time periods, whether you call it from the vault or other things. You guys can handle the material, and we have so many different things to cover, and how technology is changing that we're not going to run out of material. Is some of the stuff needing to go through a process to where the sound may not be as excellent as we want it to be? Because look, we want things to be presented in the way that do Prince proud. And sometimes there's some stuff that comes out that you're like, come on, man, you couldn't put out a different version or get the title of this right or whatnot. So those are the things. Nothing like a new release like this to bring the Prince family together, remind us why we love Prince. And that's what it's about. It's not about one person. It's not about two people. It's not about people that ran stuff previously. It's about you guys. It's about Prince. And that's what it comes to. And doing stuff for his legacy. I mean, I try. Like I said, there's a lot of people that don't like me, and that's okay. But we're all in this together. I'm not going to go away from stuff. Like, I don't mind difficult conversations. And again, people have been critical, but when you use slurs towards me, whether it's the N-word, whether it's other slurs, and I've had to block you on other formats, and then you try to add me again and then talk stuff, like, I'm blocking. I rarely try not to block people, but Again, what I said in celebration, what I said previously is that say you're on your couch and someone's tweeting stuff at you or posting on social media about you, then you're responding to them and you're getting angry. Now you're angry in your own house. That's why sometimes it's like, let them talk their mess and just walk away, or you just block. Don't get into a back and forth. I will get into a back and forth with people when I understand it's where their frustration is coming from. But when you're just being a dick for the sake of being a dick, hasta la bye-bye. Alistair Looking Glass was intended for Sheila. Yeah, I mean, and just like, you just also wonder sometimes, even though Prince didn't have supposedly input on the Eric Leeds stuff, like when Eric covered Woman in Glass, which was the Tears for Fears song, just wonder how this stuff happened. If there may be vocal versions. Again, there's so much stuff that's in the vault that we aren't aware of. There's stuff that's circulating, but there's even more. Just like some of these people, even though Bob was at the Glam Slam show and my friend Howie, he used to DJ for Prince, was at the Glam Slam show as well. Until after that show was shown at Paisley, it wasn't on Prince Vault. You know, they quickly added it to their credit. I wish some things that came from me or whatnot, because there was people helping out with that site that, again, had an axe to grind with me. So they were trying to downplay it. Like, oh, we got this from Cassandra O'Neill's Facebook page. No, you didn't. Stop. Love my respect for Prince. I try. And it's like, again, it's just, it comes from these different things. And we're talking too much about myself, and I don't feel comfortable with that. But it's just that we all care. There's very few people that truly care without ulterior motives. And that's what makes me sad. And I've learned a long time ago that you got to advocate for yourself, because ain't no one going to do it. But that's why I hated it, like the whole me thing. Hate that. But it's like, you're having to remind people, because people are trying to downplay you and be like, oh, like Prince just gave him a couple of songs. Like, nah, dude, I downplayed stuff when he was here. But I'm so appreciative to the people that made me who I am, whether it's Eileen Merton from Controversy, Per Nelson from Uptown, Prince himself, Pierre Egot, Sam Jennings, Ruth Azarte, Dave Hampton, Ian Boxhill. That hurts my heart in ways that you guys just don't know. Chris James and other people, it's just like, I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for given opportunities or whatnot to help. And those people need to get the attention. I want Ruth to put out her book. I'm also been kind of like thinking about a book for myself, although there's several books to be put out, but that way it makes it harder for people to downplay what I did and the experiences that I had. You, darling, we appreciate your time, knowledge, dedication, sacrifices. Let's get to stuff that has to do with the box set. I always appreciate your comments and other things. 100%. Should take this show on the road. She can't waste your mind. Well, in the future, again, like I still plan to be involved down the road with stuff. And that would mean me living part-time in LA, being there in Minnesota for monthly Paisley Park After Darks monthly. Let's make sure that continues to keep happening, and just meet with you guys, have one-on-one, so you guys know where I'm coming from, instead of like this dude by the screen, and then interpretations sometimes can mess with stuff. And I've said this before, shyness and arrogance are often mistaken for each other because they have the same patterns or whatnot. Looking directly at you guys through that instead of the comments. Shouldn't be a competition amongst us. We all can learn from each other. 100% is exact words. We're love for another. Let's be honest. A lot of people talk about love for another a lot, but we have to practice it in every different things. I will champion people who may not champion me, and that's okay. Just because it's like if you get someone a gift for Christmas or something, they may not get you one back. They're like, well, I'm not gonna get them a gift next year. Like, it's what you wanted to do. You shouldn't be doing stuff in anticipation of what they're gonna do. Like someone else like gave me a compliment like after celebration, and they're like, oh, like I haven't heard back from you. Like, you know, I said something nice about you. You didn't say anything nice about me. I'm like, is that why it was done? Like, just do it. And it's like, you know, I had to say that to their face or whatnot. Just come real and come correct. Love to see Stephen Grant Hill again. He has so many stories. He's funny too. Man, we had 6 hours of those shows. We're going to be doing is I'm going to be having someone very talented. We're going to be making clips of those shows, the old Spreecast shows that you guys have been wanting. When it comes to Spreecast, remember that technology was new with video. So you kind of like had, even though we'd have Adrian and other people when they're young, they'd be having audio issues or video issues. So some of that stuff we got to clean up for you guys. But I want that stuff back. I just wish like how the comments carry over here. I wish that it carried over back then. Any info on Vault series? Nothing for that. We just have the 2 songs so far. Saying this, he's so infectious to watch and definitely one of us. You're talking about me. Who wants to look at me? We don't all look at Prince. I'd rather look at Carmen Electra or Taylor. Some other things, but yeah. Too bad the country club is gone. So October 27th, 2023. Do you guys know why I have a problem with that date? And they didn't learn from Billie Eilish with Welcome to America. So I just did a video on this, but the Glam Slam show on 92 was already in circulation. Hope all's good with you. No, it was not in circulation. It has been previously, and again, a lot of people that were there or whatnot. Like I said, Prince Vault, who is just work together with them, work other stuff because it's a plethora of information, and it's just good to have it. If you feel stuff is incorrect, let's get the right stuff on there. So, aside for next week, we'll talk about that. Thank you guys for everything. Did you like Melbourne? Of course, Bob liked Melbourne. Donation page. Oh, sorry. Let me, of course, if you guys, I prefer Venmo or Cash App just because, just so you know, PayPal, they take a cut before it even hits me. But here's the PayPal link. 656. Just checking out the timing because after I post comments, it usually bumps you guys. And I want to make sure you guys are being seen and being heard. Venmo. Cash App. I haven't ordered the sets yet. I did order the singles box set. And if anyone like somehow was able to get an extra singles box set or whatnot, there's someone I know that really wants one, and I could trade you something that I have for it. So I'll look out for them that way. So Taylor's telling me, but she's too cheesy for me. I gotta say, she puts on a spectacle and other things, but we'll get into that. Been in Australia a couple of times. I'll let Bob have those conversations with the Australian. Great to see me live. Stream back. Hey, as I said, I love doing this as well, you guys. You guys are like a lifeline to me. But again, next week doesn't do, doing a show every week doesn't do you guys any favors. All it's going to do is just get you more frustrated, especially when you have stuff going on with Netflix and all these different things. And it's just, your frustration has been mounted. And again, it's just like what I'm talking about, being on your couch and being angry, tweeting at someone. I don't want to be upset. I want Prince's music to be able to listen to it, be able to watch it without having this stuff. Because I know over the past year, I've had close friends like saying it's hard for them to listen to stuff right now because of the frustration that's going on in the community. So I don't want that. If I can't help you guys out, what's the point of doing a show? Just so you guys see me? You guys aren't going to forget about me. You know, I'm going to make sure of that. You know, and I'd love to see you guys every week. Maybe we can have lunch. We can do stuff. It doesn't have to be here, you know. Back then we saved for annual concerts, albums, merch, travel. We got the bank now. All right, speak for yourself. I'm playing Violet. I'm glad that you're doing well. The COVID years haven't exactly been too kind to me, but I don't like letting people know everything that I go through, because sometimes people ain't rooting for you. And that's unfortunate. You got to be careful about who you trust. Purple politics. Once in a generation. Now, fortunately, we're experiencing 100%. Prince is a once in a generation talent. And that's why you need people in there that care about the entire catalog and see things the way that, look, why aren't we getting a For You special edition or a Prince special edition or Dirty Mind? That there's going to be early versions of stuff. Even though Dirty Mind was kind of like had that demo feel to it, there's these sessions, there's these rebels, there's stories to be told by people like Andre and whatnot. And they're here now. Like, I want Bob Cavallo for you guys, because I want to debunk that John Travolta story for the last time, and want to talk about Richard Pryor and Jim Brown and other people's involvement, and how Prince told Bob, you know, go get me that movie money. We need some movie money, but none of your mafia friends. And Bob didn't have mafia friends. Him just being Italian and wearing nice suits still kind of worked against him. But Prince could have a sense of humor, and he was just joking. People don't have to like me. Like I said, I appreciate you think that I'm amazing, Susie. I appreciate you. So, yeah, Woman in Chains. I said something else when it came to Eric Lee's track. Thank you so much, Eric, for that. But yeah, so like that Tears for Fears cover. And I find it funny that Prince hated people covering him, but they'd be having Shelby at the after show recovering Rihanna's Rude Boy. They were just frustrated. Ye fans coming for you, Jeremiah. No, I talked to some Ye fans. You know, yay. It's just, you know, I try not to get into stuff. I went after Kanye a few years ago just over the Kim thing. Maybe some people got upset about that, but I went for LeBron James harder than I went for Kanye. So, thanks again. I appreciate all the comments. Totally. I just want to get back on track of the set and the announcement. So I got to do a shorter version. Definitely know what it's like. Get called all kinds of names because I don't believe in something that person believes in. 100%. You've been in the P game for eons. Yeah. And I still look good. And I plan on being here for a while. That's all I can say. Albeit, let's be honest, thin crust pizza doesn't taste the same as thick. But I had enough of those. I miss burgers, but I had enough of those. So having chicken and turkey all the time and protein drinks, if that's what it's like for me to be here for a long time, let's do it. So any news on the documentary? I was just at Paisley Tour and the guy said she hadn't heard anything. I personally believe with the writer's strike and the actor's strike that it's coming out. You can tie stuff up in legalities for years. It's doing more harm than good. As I said, we were getting a 1992 show that'll have Diamonds and Pearls air on it. That Glam Slam show is absolutely amazing. I want that Walk Don't Walk video, even if it isn't like the best video, but it's something that isn't out there. I want the daddy pop. I want other stuff. And it makes it a little bit hard where exclusive rights are tied in. Again, you can get visuals, but there needs to be approval of stuff. This is why you guys aren't getting Piano on the Microphone from Paisley Park 2016. This is why you're not getting August 3rd, 1983, even though a deal before Netflix was signed with Apple Music at the time, before there was Apple TV, for that show to be remastered, to have a 90-minute documentary on it. But the Netflix deal trumps that. So everything's on the sidelines. So we're not getting stuff like that. Like, you guys blame Comerica, blame the estate or whatnot, but it's that deal that puts block stuff. And again, they can't release visuals. It makes it hard, and they cannot approve anything or everything, excuse me. So when it comes to this, it's like, is there going to be people maybe not talking about Prince well or whatnot? Yes. I would prefer it to be like the George Michael Wham Netflix documentary, where you're getting all this exclusive vault footage, and it's a fluff piece. Because we've had to hear so much stuff from real specials, TMZ specials, and whatnot. Like, especially when there's vault material attached to stuff, of course I want there not to be so negative. Prince wasn't a saint, though. But let's not vilify him. But I also want people to give their expression and be able to express themselves. I do feel, and I made this comment before, that, you know, we all need to be like, that worked for Prince or did other things. You need to be like in therapy and work on yourself and these other things instead of being on a camera. But I think it's doing more harm than good blocking it. But I would have liked to see, just when it comes to that footage being tied to it, that's my perspective. But other people want their truth to be told. And who am I to say that it shouldn't be done, as long as it's truthful? But also understand that there is sometimes some resentment that comes into play that messes with their decision making or some of the comments that they make. You know, sometimes there's some people harboring 30 years of ill will towards him, and they never got the closure that they needed. And that's why all of us need to work on ourselves and do stuff and do these things. Like, I hate sometimes being in a place where there's more negative stuff going on than positive, and I don't like being that way. And then it's just such an overwhelming feeling. But there's some things that you have to let go. There's some things that you have to fight for. And sometimes it does more harm than good. Allow people to have their truth, but at the same time, you got to let some of those 30 years or 3 years of frustration go, because it's going to drive you to an early grave. It's going to do other stuff. And there's so much more to be happy about. Today is a happy day. I'm sad about Bray Wyatt, shocked by it. But today, for the most part, is a great day because of this release. So there's any new news about possible release. As I said, for Netflix doc, you just want it released by us at this point. It's going to be a huge hindrance. Like, it's true. Like before, people they wanted shelved, they want these other stuff. But we're going on in November, December this year. It's going to be 6 years since that deal was made. And it does mess up releases, because just like with this Diamonds and Pearls set, as much as I want it out, all those videos I mentioned before, I wanted this to be included. And I just want there to be ways to promote him, because there's ways that were done during COVID that people did for promotion. We can use that for Prince, especially when it comes to visuals. Like, I'm pissed about when Beyonce's You Won't Break My Soul, that someone should have been calling Warner Brothers like, yo, we need to get Off House Style back in the mix like it's new. That doesn't cost a lot of money to relaunch the video, to redo things, especially if you're just doing it for streaming services purposely or whatnot. But can you imagine, like, play Beyonce's You Won't Break My Soul back to back with Get Off House Style, and you tell me that isn't fire? And you tell me that Beyonce wouldn't be down with it if you just call and set stuff straight. So yeah, Ian, man, that stuff. Yeah. The Ian thing was just a gut punch, man. There's some other stuff going on that pisses me off. Back to the box set. It's beautiful, but sadly, I can't afford to drop that amount of money. Sadly, thanks to strikes happening in my industry, therefore, I really like it. They can put out the vault tracks on a standalone CD option, please. I don't think that's going to happen just because of what's been done with these box sets. But maybe someone would be kind enough to gift you, or Australia, or, because you will have these on streaming services. You will be able to listen to this, but I understand you want to take it home with you, or have it in your collection. I get it. Hopefully in time, you will get this. Since it's Sony and Warner's working together, I don't see this going out of print as quickly as 1999 Super Deluxe did. But hopefully you're like, your industry will recover and do other stuff quickly. Co-sign with you, Mr. Musgrave, except for the behind us part. Prince deserves a top-notch documentary. Yeah. So that's on YouTube. Sometimes, like, because I know people are on different formats, and I do kind of like want to abandon one for the other, but that's future talk. That'd be closer to Xmas, so people send money down to extra sales. See, now we have in the industry November, December. You're already having the Christmas stuff and greatest hits stuff. These are the things that are planned. I would have preferred that. You also have to worry about vinyl pressing and other things, although we know that the regular versions of that stuff were done much early on. But my problem with the October 27th date, and I don't want it to get pushed to November. I want to get pushed to December or after the first of the year, because now if you're going to be having a Purple Rain 40, it starts messing with that stuff. So Welcome to America, when it was released, it was on the same day as Billie Eilish, about a month out from Grammy nomination deadlines. What happens in the industry now, it used to be like, oh, it didn't matter when your release date was if you're looking for Grammys or whatnot. With certain artists of Billie Eilish, even though she hasn't been around for a while, there's some artists that you do not drop the same album at the same time, not just for first week sales, but because for Grammy nominations and other stuff, that album overshadows it because the industry is doing too much and not paying attention to everything. So yeah, Billie Eilish dropped her album Happily Ever After, Welcome to America, and here it is. Billie, with streaming and physical numbers and vinyl sales, gets pushed over 1 million, while the Welcome to America set is top 5, but it's not getting talked about. And again, do not drop an album the same day as Beyonce, Adele, Drake, Bruno Mars for someone, because it's been a while since he had a release, Billie Eilish, and Taylor Swift. And October 27th, 1982, Prince's 1999 album was released. October 27th, 2014, and October 27th, 2023, Taylor Swift is dropping her 1989 album, Taylor's Version, where her last few Taylor versions and her last album has sold over 1 million in a week. And you're going to see it. As much as you guys don't like her, she's going to get a crap ton of nominations for her Midnight's release and for Speak Now being in the country categories. She's a freaking monster. As much as like people don't like her or whatnot, like her managers are people that worked for Prince. Monty Littman getting Prince that Universal deal when he was the head of Universal got Taylor the deal that she's got now. So I'm upset about that because I want the best for Prince. So I would like that. And I appreciate what Monty and others did during that time. Monty made sure, now keep in mind where I'm going here with this. Monty made sure when 3121 came out that through Universal Records and all the companies that they did distribution with, whether it was Republic, there was no releases on that side the day that 3121 came out. So there was less competition. So you see where I'm going here from it, even though she's a completely different artist, it's an absolute monster. And a lot of people that have kids here, grandkids, they like Taylor, they like Bey. And just all the artists I mentioned, don't release it on those days. But they ain't listening to me. I just want the best for Prince sales-wise, and I'm still pissed about how many Grammy wins that he got while he was alive, and that he never, ever, ever had the chance to get a Grammy Award on camera. He presented and handed to Alicia Keys and others. He introduced, he performed, but he never got a Grammy on stage and we got to hear him talk and think who he needed to think. And I have a problem with that. And I want him posthumously to get a lot of Grammy wins and get those numbers up. Because again, once in a generation talent, He's different. You can market him in different ways. And I do believe that all of you guys care and that there's more. Why was this delayed from 2022? Because of different estates taking over, because there was supposed to be combined box sets. And that, again, I feel that the individual set was better, but this could have been done that way in 2021 and then have Love Symbol 2022. Now we're still waiting on Love Symbol and people are waiting on Parade and other stuff. This deluxe should have come out October 1st. That's when Diamonds Pearls came out in 1991. Revolution, see, although October 1st isn't a Friday, it's got to be around that. I would have liked it closer because then you're spacing it between that. And to me, that's important. You know, just like the space between the notes is important, the space between projects. And again, like I said, the industry is different now. It isn't about first week sales. This can also impact Grammy nominations because the way the industry is working. It's like, remember someone making a comment about as great as the Gold Experience was. And I hated that it was only in the R&B category, by the way. I felt Warner Brothers did a huge disservice to him for that. Is that it was against all these other albums, D'Angelo, and you had TLC's Crazy, Sexy, Cool. And someone made a comment, and just keep in mind, these are people in the industry, how they were thinking 30 years ago. Not a lot has changed. It said that Crazy, Sexy, Cool deserves to win because all the other albums in that category, they outsold. That's how they're thinking. So sales and other stuff absolutely affects things. I'm still going to be rooting for it to get nominated. I'm still going to be rooting for it to win. But I want to pad in our chances. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So what's wrong with the October 27th release? Yeah, that's what I talked about. Sorry, I'm behind a little bit when it comes to you guys about that. But, you know, that's what it comes down to. Yeah. Taylor Swift, it's just a monster. And like I said, I saw her show. It's a spectacle, her show. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I enjoyed it. She is calculated and she takes her time with stuff. Where Prince, he wanted it out as soon as it was created. She has more patience to do stuff. So they're different in the ways that they do stuff, but then that allows her to maximize sales and allows her to maximize merch, which I'm sure her label, which because they have the 360 deal, they're really happy about that. So yeah, it's just the Netflix thing just frustrates it. There's nothing else that can be done. What's up, Sterling? So we talked about Netflix, talked about this. Hey, Andrea's up in here. What's up? Congratulations on being part of this, and congratulations on your baby. She's probably like was trying to get in privately, and people were calling out on that, so I apologize. So try to catch a live. Can I talk about the Blu-ray audio standalone release? Yeah, if someone wants to put another link for that, I appreciate the Blu-ray standalone release through Super Deluxe. I believe it's going to be, although he wasn't mentioned at all, and there's other stuff, I believe that's the Chris James Atmos mix is going to be on there. That's my assumption, just with him handling Syracuse and the Welcome to America live set. But you're going to be having Blu-ray, but it's only 4, and this is for this release. It's going to be the Atmos Dolby mix and of that, and then it's going to be the remaster, which even though not mentioned as well, I believe that's Bernie Grumman. So that release, and it's a standalone release, and that's only available on SDE. Someone provided a link earlier. They can provide a link again. But that's what's going on with that Blu-ray standalone release. But that's something that you got to have the right system for that. You got to have the right player. You're going to be putting it in a Blu-ray player, but you want a sound bar that is made for Dolby Atmos. It's just like when it comes to Atmos stuff, if you're listening to it on an iPhone, you got to have Apple Music because then you're going to get the best sound, even with your iPods, although I recommend better speakers. better headphones, excuse me. And then if you're having an Android and you're listening to stuff on Atmos, I recommend they use Amazon or Tidal because it works better for those devices. Again, all this stuff is elsewhere, and then people get upset about Dolby Atmos, like, oh, it sucks. You need to have the right system for it. Old heads don't want to be moving away from, the Dolby mixes that you got in the 90s. This is technology, and then you just hear things differently, albeit you need levels to be set a certain way. A lot of work goes into it. It isn't just like, I'm going to put this through the same system I've been using for 50 years. It's a little bit different. 50, I'm begging mom and grandparents for decades, hold them at home now. I got it all, but I can do it a little the same. Still want at least one show per tour. You only want one show per tour. Shoot. When it comes to Act 1 alone, I want the LA shows. I want the New York shows where Madonna's in the crowd and he emphasized the F that. I'm like, I should be lip syncing. Everyone else is doing it. Like, this is live. This is Memorex. F that. This is live. This isn't Memorex. Just certain things like that, especially when stuff has been pro shot and there's so much stuff. Even with the background cameras, again, because Prince is a once in a generation talent. So that over and over again, that this stuff can be marketed in a way that makes it feel special, even if you're not getting the top quality that he deserves, which is what I want. I haven't fully read about the Santana thing. I briefly glossed over it. So I can't comment too much on that. Is this going to be sold in Target? Yes, they have had several of the exclusive recordings too. I don't know if there's going to be a special Target version for this. They've had stuff in the past. It's possible, hopefully, because that stuff does generate sales. Like, here's another thing when it comes to releases. This is where Taylor comes from, where she releases 4 different vinyl. Because you release up to 4 different things, 4 CDs, 4 different vinyl, and then it counts towards the 1 album sale. So it's all a marketing scheme. So you have to be careful. There's a lot of different versions when it comes to this. So I don't think for this that's going to be done. Don't hold me to it. I will say this. You do have Batman and Graffiti Bridge coming out in a few weeks, and that'll be everywhere. You are going to be having a special edition Purple Rain Walmart edition picture disc with a different poster, which will be sold around the same time. That's exclusive to Walmart. So, and hopefully when Andrea's settled down, we can have her on the show. And I'm going to go from my water to drinking tea, and I'll just leave it at that. That might have to be down the line for the tea, though. But, I'm glad that Andrea's notes are going to be included with the box set, including everyone else that we mentioned. But I really like Andrea's writing and her books and the thing that she's going to be doing with Cornbread that you guys should definitely pay attention to. There's other people that are good writers, and it doesn't come easy to them. To me, it seems that Andrea, if she was given a deadline and had to write something in less than 6 hours, it'd be absolutely amazing. Some of these people that are just, it comes so easy to them, and they're just so talented. So that's it. And I missed her at Celebration this year, moderating the panels and doing other stuff, just the amount of professionalism that she brings to it. And I just feel that that's something that Prince would want, is having women moderators, just because they're better listeners, and just the attention to detail and not getting ahead of stuff. And if you run long, you run long, but it's necessary. In the interview that she did with Jesse Johnson at the Celebration, for both panels, just amazing to let Jesse go, set stuff up. This is what it comes to. It's just like we talk about the space between the notes and letting stuff breathe. So not only does she do that with her writing, but she does it with the moderation as well. To give the person the time to explain themselves, and you let something breathe. A lot of people don't do that, to where they're on to the next question before the first question has been answered. So we all got to take care of each other. Aside for the special edition release of Diamonds Pearls, I'm here for this, and I think the estate is off to a good start with this release. I'm all for it. As I said, I want the same amount of attention for the catalog from 77 to 2016. that's what it comes down to. It is, you know, and I'm glad that the 90s is finally getting some love and some attention. So, Pop Daddy, Daddy Pop. So, how long do we have to be held hostage to Netflix? I'm not in those discussions. There's just a lot of pushback going on. Look, with the writer's strike and other stuff, like I said, like this is definitely gonna get released because they're going to be needing content the longer that this strike goes on. So, you know, that's what it comes down to. So there you go. Andrea's kind of dropping a little bit of knowledge because some people were like, how come the MPG isn't being included? This may put into it, and Andrea talked about on the current, I believe, June of this year, talked about that there is going to be a Prince podcast for this stuff that has been recorded. So you guys will be getting that. You may not have gotten episode 1 today, but hopefully it's coming. She can elaborate on that more. But at least it looks like the MPG story is going to be told. And some MPG members, I do believe that they're asked to write some stuff. So there will be tidbits, but maybe not full-on essays. So, yes, Paisley and the music are two separate entities. And that's why it gets so frustrating when Paisley Park is trying to promote an After Dark. And people are like, oh, we want new music. It's just, it makes it hard to follow sometimes. It's just like when someone goes, I want to see this release. I'm like, well, that falls under Warner Brothers. Then that person says, I want this to be released. Well, that falls under Sony. I want the August 3rd 83 show. Well, the Netflix thing is holding that stuff up. Again, it's about, they can release stuff, but there has to be approval. Like I said before, that's why you're not getting the January 21st, 2016 shows yet. There is stuff that, I wouldn't say it's being held hostage, but it's being held up because of things. So, but it's like, it was already difficult having to explain stuff between what Warner's can put out and what Sony can put out. Then you put this other thing on top of it. It makes it even harder. And that's why I'm glad to see with this set, this is the first set where you have Warner and Sony working together. And hopefully other projects can be done when it comes to that. Again, when it came to reissues, Sony can just put out stuff as is. They can't remaster it. They can't add tracks. And sometimes people just don't understand that, so it becomes confusing. Prince, so hopefully, Wesley, I answered your question in the case of Netflix stuff earlier or whatnot. Can go back to it, just like we talked about before. This is why certain stuff is being held up. And then you don't have deals with streaming services, whether it's Max, whether it's Peacock, whether it's Apple TV. These are other things in the future that hopefully we will see because there's just so much more to be done. I don't know if it's unflattering to others aside from Prince and they're trying to be protective. I don't think that that's like an attack on them per se. They're just trying to be protective because you got to look at things of like cancel culture. Michael Jackson, a lot of people feel Prince is uncancelable. Let's not find out, you know. But again, it's just doing more harm than good. I just wish that there could be a good compromise that could happen. Andrea Swenson, yeah, from what I'm being told, I'm sure she already answered that over to you, that she will be the one hosting the Prince podcast for it. That's officially from the estate. That's why I thought it was great to see Jesse play at Paisley for Celebration a few years ago. He spoke and got some things off his chest. 100%. And then people were upset. Like, look, I said this before. Jesse was one of Prince's favorite guitar players. He had some issues that weren't resolved. Like they kind of went at each other a little bit. But Prince had nothing but love for Jesse, especially when Jesse would still be talking stuff about him during the original 7 Condensate era. And the comments that Prince said to me in person about it was how much like he had love for them or whatnot. But again, he sent it to me in an email to talk about how until you hear 7779311, there wasn't a whammy bar that Prince was using or whatnot that was influenced by Jesse. Not probably talking about the recording, He's talking about when he saw Jesse play. This is why I think things are important. I know some people got upset at Shaka and some of the comments that she made. And again, no disrespect to the person that was from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. No disrespect. Andrea is a Hall of Famer herself. I would have liked to have interviewed her, and they would have talked about, hey, you said some comments before, why not? I'm sure Shaka would have been like, look, wrong mindset, just that. Like, people need to forgive sometimes. Prince would forgive a lot. He wouldn't forget, but he'd forgive. Think about Paul Peterson. You think about all these other things. What fans and friends and people that truly care, don't let Prince's battles be your battles for other stuff, because it doesn't do any good. You're holding stuff up. Like, there was a lot of ill will that Prince had with other people and Watch Under the Bridge because they still had love for each other. That's what it comes down to. Send good vibrations like you normally do. Hey, Alyssa, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So, absolute fire, all of it. Yeah, sucks about Bray Wyatt. D'Angelo and Nisi are my favorite true funk soldiers. There you go. So digital downloads, you will be getting stuff like that, especially on streaming services. Don't know if you're talking about other things. For the amount of stuff that's included in this set, the price is so worth it. I know some cannot make it reach. For those who say it isn't worth it, it's completely incorrect. As I said, I just would like to have and figure out why, aside from maybe some sound issues, why I wonder why Player was done. I don't know why I just got that sound. Someone may be trying to message me. But I just want to know why certain things like that weren't included, but then Letter from Miles, which is Symbol Era, is included in this. So I need to have clarification instead of criticism, but I'm just curious. So forgot the weekend. Yeah, the weekend. Sorry about that. Yes, you do not want to release stuff the same day as the weekend. Drake, Bruno, because it's been a while. Beyonce, Adele, maybe Rihanna, because it's been a while. You can be putting her in the Bruno category. Other artists, just don't put out something the same day as Taylor. And that's what's happening. And the Billie Eilish thing from Welcome to America, where I loved Andrea's liner notes in that. I wanted Grammy nominations for that. But again, how it works and the system is working, they're judging, unfortunately, by first week sales. And then no matter how good the product is, no matter if you're trying to promote certain singles as urban, adult, contemporary, it's not going to get you the attention that it deserves. Taylor's a smart girl, man. And I just wish that Prince was talked about more from stuff, and just like with Sinatra and re-recording his catalog. Prince, unfortunately, I wouldn't say he was long in the tooth, but his voice changed so much, and for him to have to go back and try to record stuff how it was done would have just been mind-numbing for him, not even talking about the religious changes. So October surprise, hopefully we'll get something of that. Any info on Blu-ray audio, it's on there. We put links. But it should be also, I would hope that there's going to be a standalone release for the Dolby Atmos of the 1992 show. So what order did they start with reorder sign of the times? Why not 1999? So I've already asked and discussed. I don't know what the question is. Maybe someone else can answer that. But yeah, 1999 was first before Sign of the Times. Like I said, I want everything to get the attention and love it deserves, especially when you have people around that can share their stories and get stuff correct. So teaser drops next month for the Prince podcast for people that are watching this on YouTube or maybe watching the YouTube version of it. So you're getting a Diamonds and Pearls podcast stuff. Teaser drops next month. So very happy to hear Chris James is involved. His Welcome to America mix on Blu-ray is superb. Like, it's just so important to me. Try not to get caught up, choked up when talking about Ian. And you got Dave Hampton, and that's why it's important, like for people like Chris James, just to be involved, because their struggles are real. And Chris James has done a lot, man. From Rumors with Fleetwood Mac and so much more. Like he's on levels that people just may not understand. So you're welcome, Andrea. They all need release. We all want everything, like I said, but we can handle more than one box set. You can do stuff in ways to promote it. I can't give out ideas for free. I've said that before, but there's other ways to do it. And I just saw during COVID that we can use that idea. We can do this idea since he can't be here to promote, but we can do stuff like this. Again, I need that Netflix thing out of the way though, for some of these ideas. And I need everyone to come together, primary wave, and all these other things to make stuff happen and get people that know what they're doing and whatnot. Like I said, I got people like from the Hendricks estate, Bill Withers estate, and other people that would help me if I was to get involved. You know, I told him like, you know, I need this. Someone's like, I'll give you like 3 to 4 months of being it. So I'm going to be learning from people that have worked with other estates. And, you know, I know some stuff about engineering. It's not like Chris James and others that are just on it, from even David Z and Susan Rogers at her time. But it's also having the care to do stuff and know it. Actually, in Chicago as well. I said at least. There you go. I'm behind on your guys' comments, aren't I? By like 25 minutes. Just try to catch up. So, but yeah. There we go. Clear diamonds, milky pearl. Yep. I actually went to Chicago, first Prince concert. See, of all this stuff. Seems like Taylor does a lot of Prince-like things. He's going to re-record his catalog too. Yeah. I just wish that there was something, especially like, there's part of me that wishes that Gautier and Kimbra didn't win the Grammy that year and Taylor would have won for Shake It Off, because when Prince came out, Taylor was one of those people losing her over Prince being out there. And I wish that they would have been able to connect. Like they were at the Saturday Night Live party at the same time where she performed Shake It Off with Paul McCartney. But by the time that Prince showed up and had Haim, and Haim and Taylor are thick as thieves, no body, no crime, that I wish something would have happened between them. I hate this whole Prince wouldn't want this, Prince wouldn't want that. I think during the COVID era where Taylor was dropping albums at a ridiculous rate, I think there would have been props. And I wonder what could have been done between them. Because he would tweet about Taylor at times, especially when people were saying, hey, Prince did this first or whatnot. But there was some attention. I wish there was more of an acknowledgement on her part. And I don't understand it, but that's why I just wish that one of the awards that he presented, she would have won. So there could have been something, because I just have a feeling the way that The Weeknd gushed over Prince, Taylor would have been the same way, you know. So, but we won't know that. So, wow. Andrea, you see people are trying to get you to Melbourne, huh? April 4th, 5th, or 6th. We'll see when it comes to that. What direction do you think the estate will take next? Like I said, with the music club, it makes it hard where you have different labels involved in this other stuff. I would like to see at some point in the future decisions to be made to where the estate is doing so well that distribution deals can be reached instead of being under the thumbs of 2 record labels, let alone 1. Gives you more freedom for distribution deals. So thank you, Cheryl. Missed you guys too. Vault Series was that. It was just 2 songs that have been released so far. They're doing it at Celebration. It's also online, all our shares together, and 7 in E flat. G. So love listening to your relentless and your dedication to Prince. I try. Thank you guys so much for that. Let's put these comments on, because I know when I'm sometimes reading stuff and it isn't on the same platform, doesn't hit. But I appreciate your guys' comments. I see all of it, even the negative ones, but that's just how it comes down to. MPG Musical, yes, we love to see that in the future. Any ideas on how it was determined what would be on the set? That's why I want to have them in instead of criticizing, like, why is this on it? I do believe other people were working on the combined set, and then it's like the sets are separated, and then there was some sort of communication, and even if something is recorded in 1991, if it's after a certain time or Diamonds and Pearls is already turned in, something for a letter for Miles or Miles is Not Dead, the original title of it, that was on one of the early configurations of the Symbol album. So I want to know the mindset of it. And I did see, like, the reason being is like having Martika's Kitchen as stuff that was recorded during that time period. All right. So I guess that doesn't mean there's going to be originals too. Because if you're going by that, that means that You're My Love that was given to Kenny Rogers, since it was recorded during the 1999 sessions at Kiowa Trail, I guess that should have been on the 1999 Super Deluxe, right? See what I'm getting there? I'm not trying to be a dick for the sake of being a dick. I just want consistency. And transitions for other stuff, whether you like someone or not, it's important to have happen. So looked up when his concert at Highway Bowl was, found it, and was amazed at the amount of tunes that was there. Are you talking about Prince? Because the Highway Bowl show was 1997, and Larry Graham's set was longer than Prince's, because Prince didn't know, because he always pays curfews. He didn't know that the Hollywood Bowl has a strict 11 p.m. curfew. He took the stage barely before 10, and he was pissed. He didn't even go to the after party at the Key Club up the street on Sunset Boulevard. He did make sure the next night at Irvine Meadows that they got a 3.5 hour show. And then he stayed away from LA for a few years. And when we asked him about it, it's because of the LAPD trying to shut him down. Of course, you had later in life where Antonio de la Rosa, our mayor at that time, was a Prince fan. So then Prince would be able to wreak havoc at the Roosevelt and play until 6 a.m. So they didn't have to worry about curfew or stuff being shut down. Prince all over the Never on Easy Task plays complicated, yes. And for 100%, excellent day, exciting day, except for Bray Wyatt. Andre Swenson, congratulations. Yes. Swipe left turn while I have your attention. Any info about Jack White and Third Man releasing? It's not. There was a miscommunication with Jack, just because, and you buy something from an auction doesn't mean you have it. I think that they're wanting to work with Jack. Who wouldn't want to work with Jack? And side note, I want Paisley at some point to have their own record pressing plant, whether it's the Egg, whether it's other stuff there, to have it somewhere beyond the grounds, because they have the space for it. But again, when it comes to Camille, all songs but one belong to Sony. There's one because of the Batman deal where Prince had to sign over the publishing rights to be part of that. It belongs to Warner's, and it's going to belong to Warner's for a longer period of time. So as soon as he's making that announcement and Stephen Colbert is interviewing him, I'm like, yo, someone needs to tell him that it can't happen unless one of the songs is omitted, and no one wants that. So I feel that the estate and Jack White and Third Man Records will work together in the future. Probably for Camille, it's not going to happen for a while. So, and we're not talking about Good Love. You know, people can deduce what it is. And of course, they won't give credit on that. They'll take it themselves. But that's one of the holdups on that happening, is that Warner Brothers with some stuff, Sony with some stuff. Just like we talked about with that project, all but one song goes under Sony. Once anyone's lifetime, no one compares Prince. Like, look, you know, when Prince was referred to as the modern day Mozart, modern day Beethoven, there's a lot of truth to that. So Paisley's not putting Diamonds and Pearls out, Warner and Sony. Is that correct? Yes. It's Paisley is a separate entity, and people need to get that. So this would be excellent if unreleased tracks were released on the music club. Yeah, can't be done because what we talked about before. Not sure what you're asking about for when. Maybe you're talking about the Dolby Atmos mixes. That is going to be released. And it should be October 27th. You can reorder them now. Jesse's a beast on guitar. Okay, well, you do see it. I'm behind a little bit with you guys, just trying to make sure we get it. And this is longer than kind of going on. Purple fans will have family squabbles left for another. Yeah. And again, don't let his battles become your battles for stuff. Purple fans will have that. Can we get Chris James on to explain a little about the efforts and care being taken to ensure the fantastic sound in these releases? I'd love to have Chris James on. I would like to have Andre on, as we talked about. I'd love to pick Dwayne's brain again. Most of the time when we've had Dwayne on the show, we've only been able to talk about the books. So I'm not certain of that, but those are the things I want on, just because I'm not trying to criticize for the sake of criticizing. I just want to know what the mindset was and stuff. Because there's people that criticize me all the time, and I allow it just because you can't care. But sometimes it could come off to people as I'm being extremely hurtful, and I'm not. I've been hurt in the process of stuff over the years, but you can't look like you're sour grapes. So Prince Estate via MPG Records released along with Sony and Warner on the distributors. Yes, but Paisley Park is not involved in releases. That's why it's like I wish people would stop bugging them, especially when they're trying to promote stuff. So Originals album, Wouldn't You Love to Love Me, one sound quite very questionable. Yeah, like there's manipulation of sounds going on. Player and I Wonder must have been kept off for another reason. As I said, I would love to fully know if that's the case. I think that you can just do stuff with the sounds to do it. You probably do have people under NDAs though, so they can't talk about it too much. So, are you going to sell more? I hope not. We'll see some stuff, but stuff that didn't fit me anymore and that can contribute to stuff, we did that before. I don't know about other things. Good to know that we're getting 2 mixes of the show, much like we did with the Prince of Revolution live release. Yes, for Syracuse. Someone was banned or removed. I guess someone complained about someone. Can we enjoy $2 some appreciation for his editing work and the amazing Welcome to America Blu-ray? He got Prince having so much fun. There you go. That's how I like to talk about some stuff with that happening as well. Unedited Insatiable is amazing. Love that you guys are finally hearing that and it's fully out. I know some people are like, that belonged to me. I want everyone to get appreciation for that. There's no one specific. It's essentially Prince's empire, state control, and owns so much under that umbrella. Thank you, Prince. 100%. Thank you, Prince. So, yes, I'm glad the set is split. 100%. That was the right decision. Mind Bells and Bliss, and I want to talk about stuff sounds dated, but hello from here too. Personally think it's true that there's enough material for the next 70 plus years. Yes, if you do stuff a certain way. Now remember, technology will always be advancing, so you're going to be putting out sets or other stuff will be unearthed. There'll be stuff that I'd find on eBay that the estate didn't have, like the Flipper show. There's someone that took like 1,000 photos, and none of that stuff was circulating, and there was someone like trying to sell the photos for $5,000. So I hit Comerica to it. Hopefully we were able to purchase it, and there was like reels of video footage from the 1999 Little Red Corvette shoots, even though they had the stuff that was shot in the Armory in Minnesota. But I feel that stuff should be in there. And there's been people that have told me that have stuff that they want stuff turned over to the estate, but they're like, I'm not giving it to them unless you're involved or whatnot. That would give it for free. We were able to get the 77 demos from a person for free. We were able to get that turned over. The one that went for auction, $55,000 a couple months ago, but actually after fees, it turns over $70,000. We were able to get that into the estate's hands for free. So there's other stuff that people will have with clothes. When it comes to videos that aren't in the vault, that I'd like them to turn over, they're like, unless you're involved, I ain't doing it. So I appreciate that. And we'll just see what happens in the future, because I do want these things to happen. I mean, it's just like time boxing. Yeah, I Can Never Take a Place Here, Man was pretty awesome for Sign of the Times. Like, I would like to see a 79 release be the first that includes that, and then that included on a Sign of the Times set. And the reason being is just that, yes, it's double dipping, but it's important to it to let people know, like, damn, this was from 79. Those things are important. 2024 Purple Rain anniversary with deleted scenes in the 83 show at First Avenue. It's becoming next year. You're not going to get deleted scenes. See, that's my problem. This is why I want Bob Cavallo on before Albert Magnoli. By the way, I still need to tell you guys who my guest is for next week. Make sure that I always hate announcing stuff ahead of time once guests, because sometimes it falls apart. So let's see. All right. Okay. So I got the image that they want used for next week for the guest. So, I think the Netflix docu-series, someone is saying it's being held hostage. Thank you for tuning in and watching, by the way. So I don't think you're going to get the deleted scenes. Albert Magnoli was trying to say that some of that stuff was destroyed in the fires, something that happened. I'm not certain of that. But we also talked about it with Jelly Bean about the fight scene and other stuff. With the 83 show, they got to get stuff worked out with Netflix. And again, someone said it's being held hostage. That's how they feel about it. I just want stuff to be able to get out. And yes, it does affect releases. That's what people just don't understand. It's amazing how you remember dates and all that information. I try to be a walking principle. That's why it's like, even I'm critical of them. I'm like, hey, it's not this date. It's this date. Like, I was there. This happened or whatnot. But, you know, another thing is like, I was writing notes the days that it happened, or whether so while I was doing reviews or whatnot. So the information that I have comes from that day, not looking back on stuff 30, 40 years later, or allowing a band member to revise history. So who should have told him about the curfews? Someone beforehand at Hollywood Bowl. But, you know, Prince's people, they roll into town and they didn't know this stuff. But I appreciate this. I try to just get stuff right. And there'll be stuff that is presented to me like, actually, Jay, this is what happened or whatnot. That's another thing if you're being an archivist or a historian, is when new facts are presented to you, you have to be able to revise and advise and not stick to your story, because that's what you've been telling for years. If there's something new that came out, you're actually doing more harm than good ignoring it. And allowing other people to say that they've written stuff or did other things is detrimental to the situation. And I'm not calling out one person on that, but because I posted something over the past 24 hours and people were upset about that. And I even corrected it. I wasn't trying to throw shade at her. I respect her. But it's just, we can't have these things getting all confused. I try to use my gift for good. Can you please talk about Alan Lee's participation during these times? That's something maybe we need to get Alan on for this stuff, and Eric on, just to know about certain things. I know you had Jill Willis kind of running Paisley at that time, and then afterwards you had Alan by 92. And even Alan, like when Prince retired after the Universal Amphitheater shows at the Act One tour, and then changed his name to a Symbol, like Alan was running Paisley Park at that time, not Gilbert Davidson and other stuff. It was just, you got to take when Prince says stuff like that with a grain of salt. I'm like, all right, so we're supposed to believe the retirement, we're supposed to believe the name change. So I would like to talk about Alan about stuff like that, if he's up for it. So I don't know what you mean about Paisley Park taking credit for this release. There's other people like, look, it's been worked on for several years and whatnot, and there's many different hands. I agree, like I said, with the separation of the sets and other stuff that had to be done a certain way. So thank you, Mr. Musgrave. I appreciate the comments. Yeah. So there's photos from those shows. Like when you have Magic Johnson talking about seeing Prince for the first time at a freaking roller rink in LA. That's like Magic's got some Prince. Everyone's got a freaking Prince story, man. We just need to get into Paisley and have them sit down and freaking film them talking about this stuff. Stories from the park. There you go. That's something for free. Happy for anything, everything we get with this Super Deluxe Edition release. It's Alistair Looking Glass and Stage World remix on Tidal, beautiful sound. Like I said, got to get those Grammys posthumously because he wasn't given the attention that he deserved when he was alive. Definitely was a Hollywood Bowl show. It was about 2 hours. Got cold and even remarked how cold it was. It was cold. It was colder than a witch's tit. But that show started at 9:55 and he was off the stage at 11. Larry's set was longer. Maybe getting stuff mixed in with it, but he was pissed. And so like a lot of people that went to the Hollywood Bowl show, they loved it. Oh my God, he's the best performer ever. I'm like, you need to see him again if you thought that show was good. That's all I gotta say. So some people's like worst show is better than some people's best show. So good to be back. Hold up, let's see when it comes to what. Still keep up alive for those lead scenes, at least a version. Yeah, I'm with you. Let us see Purple Rain outtakes. Do if anyone got having his guitar plugged on SNL? I don't think so. Some people were trying to say that was done on purpose. I don't know. That's another story that we need to figure out and tell. Yeah. I mean, I just kept notes even like before the internet. Like there was people like in junior high school because I would have like say a controversy magazine on one side and then a song that I wrote on the other side. And then I started writing stuff and I put it on the other side of notebooks. So every day it'd have girls talking to you all the time because you're changing the photos, you're putting like a hot girl or a Prince thing and then something that you wrote on the other side. So every day someone's looking at your notebook. And they're like, there was a girl that just said, now she works for E! Entertainment Television. Like, you should need to be doing PR for him one day. This was like in junior high because some of the ideas that I had for him to do during those things. But, you know, it's a team effort. It takes more than one person. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what it comes into it is be critical of me. I see it all the time. I'll pay mind to it when I want to, but if you're going to be disrespectful, I can understand why you're going to be ignored. So Hope, Love, Sex, and Dormant shows next. I don't think it's going to be next, but it should be. Again, with that stuff not circulating, it would be part of the Netflix doc. And then, you know, that could be a streaming deal in itself or just other stuff. Again, I think that was shot with video cassette as well, not film. The 83 First Avenue concert cleanup and Blu-ray would be a dream. 100% agree with you. 100%. So, do I think Prince will retire? Had he been able to? I can't imagine. Like, I think if Prince couldn't perform anymore or do other stuff, that he would have been miserable. I don't think he ever really would have retired. So. Stories in the Park, love that 100%. That'd be a task at that show. Hey, there's people willing to do it. Unfortunately, it's like the thing is you have to learn how to edit. As much as say we want like a 20-minute version of the ladder from the LA Sports Arena, you gotta have that be a segment of something, but then you can have that be a part of a bonus footage or other things. You gotta learn to be an editor. And sometimes I think with fans, they want the longest version possible. They want these other things, and sometimes that's not what is best for business. So, yeah. I mean, they're promoting the release and promoting other stuff. But we want Paisley Park to stay alive, keep supporting it. Is there an NDA preventing your chat with Alan and Eric? Not on my end. I haven't signed an NDA. I talked about this before when he was here. Since then, as I said, the previous administration told me to kick rocks. just because the family likes me or what. I'm sure it's more than that, and they're going to be pissed at me. I'm like, look, if you want to talk it out, we can talk it out. Posting stuff on social media or whatnot. If you know the number or you know how to get in contact with me, it doesn't need to be public. When you're making comments publicly, there's a reason for it. Yeah, Matthew Bitton was involved with the set. I think he posted on Instagram about that. So his artwork was used, I think, in the regular versions, the deluxe, super deluxe as well. I don't know to what extent. Sure, Matthew can clear that up. He's always been proud of the work that he's done since Prince has passed for the estate. But yes, he is involved. Thank you for that. I was supposed to bring that up. I believe Trevor Guy may have been on that. Like, there's just people that did the liner notes have been credited, and that's what I'm saying is, like, if I'm wrong that it isn't Chris James that did the Atmos or is doing it, let me know. Even like with Bernie Grumman. I mean, Bernie he kind of like uses the same system that he's been using for decades. It's not disrespect. There's other stuff that goes into it. Who's on next Thursday. So I think Prince is going to continue as long as he could. Literally, I couldn't see him not doing music and all. That was so much of his life, 100%. So I think it's time to wrap this up or whatnot. Next week's guest has been wanting to do the show for a while. Don't think we're going to have him on for 2 hours. I'm not going to ask the questions that everyone else has asked before. But I think it'll be a fun conversation. Usually, how he will respond to stuff that you guys want to know, he would say it's in the book. So next week's guest at this time, next Thursday, is the one and only. What time is it? It's time for the Dr. Funk Morris Day interview next Thursday. So there we go. I really want Bob Cavallo on just to get some stuff on record as well. I'm not going to be doing a show every week. When we get guests on, we'll be having it. And I don't want to be messy. I appreciate you guys not being messy, that we can talk about Netflix and other stuff without it going that route. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. I'll take some last questions now that we've caught up with stuff, and I will do, because someone is asking, whoops, hopefully that's right. About donations, again, this is PayPal. Although, like I said, if you can do Venmo or Cash App, that's just better, because PayPal takes money out before you guys see it. If that's your only way of doing stuff, that's fine. I just want you to know I appreciate you guys, but can't do a show every week just for you guys to see me. That's me. That's where I'm not saying anything else. I don't know about anyone else's shows or whatnot, because I can't pay attention to that stuff. I have too much stuff going on myself. But, you know, I look forward to having people on that want to be on, especially that have been with this project. Hopefully we can get them on before the release, not after, because stuff like that helps out. So a transfer, you can hit me up probably about that. I don't know, or maybe else someone will help. I know that you're talking about Canada, but it still should be a way to do stuff. But I always appreciate you, Susie. Although the hoodies that you sent don't fit, but I still use the stickers, and there's some other stuff that you sent me that I'm really appreciative of. So Morris Day. Yeah, we've been trying to get Morris on for a while. I appreciate them reaching out. I appreciate people through the past. And then we'll see about some stuff, because we've had Jerome on our show before, but Jerome is doing an event in LA at the end of September. And we'll see about October and what stuff comes for Diamonds and Pearls. He comes back next week. Stay cool. Oh man, he came back yesterday. But I appreciate it. Ask Morris about his vault. He'll say it's in the book. No, I'm playing. But you know, 21 snap. But that's what's going on. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Hopefully I answered everything that you guys want to answer. I think everyone's excited about this release. I think you guys are hungry. I think you're wanting it. So I'm getting another message from a label person through Messenger. So that's what the beeping was on the system a little bit ago. Okay. So the immersive experience, not traveling. That's a good question. That wasn't shared in the room for some reason. The immersive experience. I'll hit up someone about that as soon as the show is over, if they're still watching, which I doubt. What's up with the immersive experience? New York, LA, what's happening? But I'd like to see stuff like that. It's in the book. Yep. Ask Morris to release footage of him drumming, please. I'm sure he'd love to do that. Maybe also ask about any guitar dueling with Prince and Jesse. Make sure to remind me of that question a day or whatnot before. Memory is good, but there's other stuff I want to be prepared for because, like I said, you know, Morris going to be like, you guys don't seem to realize how valuable my time is. So we're going to make sure to get some stuff done for him. But I'm appreciative. I appreciate all you guys. I could talk for longer. I'm not going to do it. I appreciate how many people are here, how many people that may not be watching live. I appreciate people that stopped in. Let's keep doing this for Prince. So that's what it comes down to. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I'll do it one more time because someone's asking for it. But we're wrapping up. But just do it. Try to support the package to people that can't afford it. Maybe ask family members or friends as a Christmas gift for it, or do GoFundMe. I mean, I find it funny. Remember the memes, and I'm sure they're going around today, like people applying to a bank loan just for a Prince release. Some funny stuff. So thank you guys for everything. Again, thank you guys for watching live. For those that aren't watching live, thank you guys just for being a part of it, having it be interactive. We'll be doing shows eventually. Like I said, we're going to be having Spreecast stuff and other things on that I need to go through. But thank you guys for subscribing on iTunes, for other people, for telling people about it. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your donations because it keeps stuff, whether it's this lighting, whether it's the TV gig that I have attached to the wall, whether it's everything I use, it goes to the show to make things best for you. But most importantly, keep it funky. Give people their diamonds and pearls and their flowers while they're still here. Rosie Gaines, we love you. But most importantly, while keeping it funky and having a love for another, thank you, Prince. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Prince. Much love. Till next time. See you guys